Hi guys, this is my recap and reaction to Sister Wives Season 15, Episode 8, and hold on to your seats because this episode includes probably the worst 30th wedding anniversary date of all time between Meri and Cody. No, but seriously, more on that later. The beginning of the episode is a bit more light, so let's start with that. The episode starts in Janelle's backyard in April 2020 to get a sense of where we are in the pandemic, with Garrison, Gabriel, and Savannah all there. And at this point, Cody hasn't been to Janelle's house in about over a month because the boys are still socializing, and it may be raising eyebrows in the family, honestly. Cody blames Garrison and Gabriel for not being able to come over, and the boys blame him. And there's some type of bitterness around that. At one point, the boys say they think the family is done now. It just fell apart, and Janelle is like, no, it's just a temporary blip in the history of the family. What do you guys think about that? And Robin comes in her confessional immediately after that and says, Cody shouldn't be at my house this much. It seems wrong. But I'm not making the decisions, they are. So she's kind of trying to absolve herself of that whole mess, but then again, who decides how everything works? Shouldn't they be making decisions together? Just asking. Next, it's Truly's birthday at Christine's house, and of course it's a smaller birthday occasion because of the pandemic. They have this small pinata that's impossible to get open or to even really hit because it's so small. And Cody blames Christine for not putting enough candy in the pinata. And Christine kind of looks at him and says, do you want to be in charge of the pinata next time? And he's like, no, I don't want to do anything. I just want to complain about it, which is classic, right? Then Robin shows up with her kids to give presents outside to Truly and just awkwardly stands there and says it is awkward. She says, this is weird, there's not much we can really do here, and she wishes they could all deal with this together. And they cut to Janelle's confessional, and she says that she's actually glad they don't live in one house because there still wouldn't be an agreement over the risks that her boys are taking, right? And she's right. Like, what would they do? Would they seal her section of the house? Would Garrison and Gabriel have to leave? Like, I don't understand. Like, what would they do? Next, Cody is finally going back to Janelle's house after a long controversial break to watch Hunter's graduation from the Air Force, which, by the way, I'm bitter we didn't actually see it. We just see him going over there. So it's such a great achievement for Hunter, and that would have been a really good feel-good story for the family. And going over there, Cody and Janelle are both nervous to see each other again, as if something could have changed somehow. And Cody says that he's having an emotional meltdown. And in a cute moment, Janelle, when she sees Cody for the first time, kind of giggles, and Cody's smiling, and immediately he says that when they saw each other, they were fine, they were back in the groove, and this is actually a pretty sweet moment between them. Okay, so let's get into Meri and Cody's anniversary date. It's a doozy. Say what you want, but Cody, to me, seems like Meri is his safe place to say whatever he wants, and it was shown again kind of in these scenes, especially nearing the end of the episode. He gets to her house and she gives him a present of Rice Krispie treats that he apparently loves, and she's like, guess how many there are in there? And he says 18, and then it's just so apparent that he doesn't even know what anniversary this is and how many years they've actually been married. And this ends up being their 30th anniversary. 30 years. That's a huge milestone. He thought it was actually 31 for some reason, so not the best start to an anniversary date. And we find out that Meri and Cody haven't lived together or kind of cohabitated since Las Vegas. And basically they haven't been out together since last year's anniversary. So they're distant and it's sad, and I'm sure Meri is super lonely, and I kind of feel horrible for her. At one point in the car going over to their picnic, Cody says, I think we miss the idea of us, but we don't miss each other. And Meri's like, speak for yourself. It's just so clear that Meri is waiting for Cody to come back, and he doesn't even miss the relationship. Some things he says, I'm sorry, I could not handle someone I was married to saying those things to me. It would be beyond hurtful. He says in his confessional that if she wants him to love her, she needs to be lovable. Like, ouch. How dare he say that she's not lovable? They were married for so many years. Then they go to a field and make some type of picnic on tall grass, and Meri is flirting pretty hard. I mean, she's like, do you think it's gross when I flirt with you? And he's like, no, awkwardly. I'm not gonna say it's gross. And then she goes even further and she says, if I were to lean over and kiss you, would you push me away? And he's like, no, and like awkwardly smiles. And basically Meri's getting rejected, which is quite sad. And then it starts to get darker, and they're kind of in the pitch black. All you can see are like their iPhone lights in each other's eyes. And I don't know if it's a full moon, but he starts talking about the whole family and how there are problems. Specifically about one wife that he thinks will never be happy. And I think he's talking about Christine. He even says something like, sometimes he has no interest in her or something, which is brutal. And he says he has trouble visualizing the family together moving forward. Like, do we really benefit from this situation? And this quote from the episode that he says is crazy. He says, love is not unconditional. Maybe some people have that. But when you are married to someone, shouldn't the love be unconditional? Like family love, you know? So I didn't really understand why he said that. It's a mess, guys. And I wonder how things are now. Like, do you think things have gotten better or worse? Let me know in the comments. Either way, I'm just thinking about something Janelle told Us Weekly lately. She said that during the Meri Cody scenes, she usually goes to grab a snack or goes to the washroom. That means she probably was getting a snack or in the washroom a lot this episode. And I honestly hope Meri didn't even watch this episode, just given what she's going through with her mom passing away. I mean, it's kind of rough, right? But I guess she lived it, so it wouldn't be a shock to her. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the whole way through. And if you like this video, please give it a like. And if you like my content, please subscribe for more recaps, more updates for Sister Wives. It's one of my favorite shows, as you guys probably know. All right, guys, bye.